my name's Anne-Marie and I'm Foodie for Nutrition on Instagram. Today I want to show you how to make one of my favorite candies made of my favorite ingredient, ginger. Now ginger is one of those ingredients that's really good as an anti-inflammatory. It's completely natural and it's good especially if you have a sore throat or a cold because it boosts up your immunity and opens up everything so that you can breathe. Now the star of this candy is of course the ginger flavor. Now ginger on its own you can buy for a really inexpensive price at your grocery store for less than $2 a pound, and you can make this in bulk if you wanted to. So varying on how many candies you want to make or how strong you want your ginger candy to taste, it's all up to you. You can customize it, you can make adjustments as you need. Now let's get started on the recipe. Okay, so here are our ingredients. We have half a pound of ginger, half a cup of honey, half a cup of brown sugar, and approximately 1 cup of tapioca starch. So now I'm going to be taking the ginger. As you can see, the skin is still on it, so what we need to do is peel it off. So here's one piece of ginger here in my hand, and I'm going to be using a butter knife. You can also use the back of a spoon and just scrape off the skin. And by doing this rather than a regular knife, it just scrapes off the skin that we don't want to eat or is inedible, and we get a nice clean piece of ginger. Now with the second piece, I have a little small container underneath just to catch all of the skins that we are removing. And here's our nice clean ginger. Now with the ginger, before we juice it, I'm going to be checking for any impurities, any bruises, just like this small little piece right here. And I'm just going to chop that off. So using a small paring knife, I'm just going to chop it up and chop the rest of the large pieces into much smaller ones so it can fit into our juicer. So now we have all of our pieces chopped up and it's time to juice. And with video magic, here is our juiced ginger. Now ginger on its own is very strong and potent, so I'm going to be mixing the pure ginger juice with half a cup of cold water, and we're just going to mix it together. Okay, so now we have 1 cup of ginger juice, half a cup of pure honey, and half a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to take this all over to the stove. Now I'm going to be turning my stove top to high heat, and in a medium sauce pot we are going to be adding in our diluted ginger juice, our brown sugar, and of course our honey. And using a spatula I'm going to make sure I scrape all of that goodness in there, and we're just going to mix it up. Notice how with all of the sweeteners or natural sweeteners that we're using in this case, it colors it so it has this nice light brown hue. And we're gonna let that simmer for as long as needed until it starts to bubble. Now once you see a little bit of foam coming around, I'm using a scoop just to take out those little bubbles so we get nice pure ginger syrup. Just what we need for a candy. So I let this simmer on high boil for around 15 minutes, and I let it cool for another 10 minutes. Once it's had enough time to cool, I have a piece of parchment paper, dusted some tapioca starch, and dumped the ginger syrup. Now I'm dusting some more tapioca starch. I have some rubber gloves on me, and I'm going to mix in the tapioca starch with the ginger syrup. Now I kept doing this several times over and over just until the ginger syrup forms into a solid mass. Now I kept going and going. I decided to take off my gloves instead because it started to get a little too sticky. But notice how fast it starts to change, and after 5 minutes of mixing in, it should have this type of texture where you can pull it apart like taffy. So now I took off a small little piece, rolling it into a thin log about 1/4 inch, and with my paring knife I'm doing 1.5 centimeter slices cutting those in half again, and each one of these is going to be a piece of candy. So I've already pre-cut a few pieces of parchment paper, and these are going to be our makeshift candy wrappers. So this is around 3 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Now taking one of the parchment rectangles, I'm putting a piece of ginger candy into a log, rolling it up to the center, taking the 2 ends and twisting it either way. And you can continue this with the rest of your candies until they're all wrapped up beautifully, just like this. Isn't that really easy? Usually you would buy ginger candy as $5 for 30 pieces, but for this, you're paying it for significantly less, and you make it in larger batches or larger quantities. So I have one of the candies right here. I wrapped it up in some wax paper, as you've seen, and let's do a taste test. So I'm gonna unwrap it. It's a little bit hard by now because it has time to set. It's good. So as I'm finishing my candy, excuse me, one thing to note, I didn't really specify how much tapioca starch because it depends on how sticky or how long you let your candy to set. Depending on how chewy or how soft or how hard you want to make this candy. For example, this one, I add a little bit of too much of the tapioca starch. You can adjust it as you need so you don't get that chalky taste. So now you just learn how to make ginger candy, and this can be applied to anything. Like if you want to make lemon candy with lemon juice, apples, oranges, any kind of fruit or vegetable you want, you can make into a simple candy at home. Let me know any other recipes you want to see or any other suggestions you would have for me on this channel. This is my first official food recipe or food tutorial that I've done, and I would love to make more. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to recommend this to your friends and family. Leave more ideas or suggestions down below, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!